Ahoy fellow pirates, it's Captain Jet and we're going to be doing our first list video. So this is our first top 10. We're going to be starting with mythology. And if we're talking about mythology, why not start with the Philippine mythology? Again, this is Captain Jet and this is my top 10 list. On the 10th spot, we have the rabot. I had a hard time collecting information on this one. From what I've gathered, it's a creature which is half man, half monster that could magically turn people to rock. How it does is uncertain, but I would assume it's like Medusa, who would just gaze on the prey and they turn to rock. Or maybe like the basilisk, which turns their victims to stone by breathing on them. Or maybe uses a wand. I don't know. They said magical, so I assume it's something like that. Looking at the illustration, it's probably right here or right here. It reminds me of the Balrog from The Lord of the Rings. The creature was killed by an epic hero named Bantog using a bolo. So if you're not familiar with a bolo, you could look it up, but it's basically a long knife that's almost a sword. Number 9 is the Kurita. It is a creature of many hands and feet, I assume. Not much is known of this creature, but it reminds me of Grendel from Beowulf. Except that Grendel lost his arm and Kurita has lots to spare. Oh yeah, and there is an episode from the Oats Studios series from Netflix that has the similar monster in terms of illustration or how it was depicted, so you might want to check it out. I think the title is Zygote, so yep, you might want to check it out. Anyway, the creature was said to terrorize the lands of Mindanao, and it feeds on any human it can find. And it took a hero named Sulaiman to defeat the creature. It was cut to pieces with his sword. Thank you, Sulaiman. Number 8, we have the sarimano. I would say this is one of the most famous mythological creature of the Philippines, if not the most famous one. The name roughly translates to colorful chicken. From its name, sari means a colorful cloth, almost rainbow-like, and manok means, yes, chicken. It is usually depicted, as the name implies, as a colorful chicken with fish grasped in one of its talons or in its beak. Legend has it that if you find this bird perched on top of your house, you and your family will amass great fortune. I don't know if this chicken is the inspiration for the Pokemon Ho-Oh, but it is so famous that there was a major television station here in the Philippines that used this creature as a mascot. Number 7 is the bako. This great sea turtle was said to bore on top of Mount Pinatubo back when it was a mountain. And after the bako drilled through Mount Pinatubo, it became a volcano. Now I know that I said great sea turtle, but based on what we've read, it also says that this creature emits great flames, huge rocks, muds, and ashes. Also a deafening noise in the process. Some even say that it's the bako that we hear whenever the volcano erupts. According to legend, the great turtle still resides within the volcano, and when it comes out, woe be to us. Now that is some kaiju feels right there. Number 6 is the gaki. Not to be mistaken as hungry ghosts of the Japanese folklore of the same name. Gaki is a giant crab that resides in the middle of the earth, and this crab was said to cause earthquakes. There are a lot of mythological creatures in the Philippines, but what makes this one special is that it has a title. It is referred to as the overseer of the god Lumawi. You wear that title loud and proud, crab. You deserve it. Number 5 on our list is the casilli. The casilli is a giant sea monster, an eel so massive that it encircles the globe. Yes, I know, like Jormungandr from the Norse mythology, except it's an eel instead of serpent. Another difference is that the casilli is always accompanied by a crab. It doesn't say, but I guess it's also giant. You see, the crab pinches the casilli, and this causes, yes, earthquakes too. On the 4th spot, we have the wallow, a creature depicted as a hairy giant with 1,000 eyes and 8 heads. Thus the name wallow, which is a direct translation of the number 8 in Filipino. It is said to guard a section of heaven where human souls are kept in jars. This reminds me of how biblical angels really look like. It's sort of like this. It's messed up. And yes, human souls are kept in jars in heaven. Yep, that's what it says. We are on to number 3. And number 3, we have the balura, a gigantic bird in Higaonon beliefs. How big, you ask? It was said to hold the sky with its talon, and its wings bring strong winds that purify the land. In some depictions, it shows Galura as part man, part bird or eagle. Reminds me of the garuda, and they sound the same too. For number 2, we have the bakunawa, known by many names. Some call it olimao, some call it sawa, but it's most commonly known as bakunawa. By description, it was said to be universal level in terms of size. A giant serpent that would cause earthquakes. Although the most notable feat of this creature is devouring moons. Yes, that's right, not just one moon, moons. And I'm not talking about just 2 moons. Try 7. You see, back in the days, it was said that we had 8 moons. This guy devoured 7 of them and only stopped when Bathala or God intervened. And sometimes the bakunawa still tries to snack on the moon, and that's how we get lunar eclipses. It's a good thing that he spits it back out. And we are down to the bottom of our list. For number 1, we have the dominokawa, the rival of the bakunawa, a giant dragon-like bird of sorts. It is believed to be capable of devouring the sun, and it does from time to time. That's why we have solar eclipses. And again, just like the bakunawa, it has a bad habit of spitting it back out, but thanks to that, we still have the sun. Now, the dominokawa is on top of my list simply because it devours the sun, and that's insane. Thanks to science, now we know that the sun is bigger than the moon. Back in the days, our ancestors thought they were the same size. At that time, Minokawa and Bakunawa would be equal. But imagine if they were real, right? Minokawa trumps Bakunawa any day of the week. Thank you for watching my top 10 list, and if you have any ideas for another top 10 list, please drop a comment. And if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. You can also hit the notification bell icon so you would be informed whenever we publish new videos. Okay, this has been Captain Jet, and I will see you in the next one.
Savvy.